Ms. Harris on? Ms. Harris? All right, well, Ms. Harris must not be on right now. I'm gonna ask, Steve, will you give us our prayer, open the prayer, please?
Let us pray. Dear God, we thank you for this opportunity to come together as these, your public servants, prepare to do the business of the people. God, we ask that you look over these proceedings and bless the deliberations that are about to go forth. Touch everyone, God, in a mighty way, Lord, and let everything that's done here today be pleasing in your eyesight. In Jesus' name, all the people together said amen.
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 Councilman Crowe?
Okay, let's face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Can you guys hear me?
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call this Miss City Clerk, will you roll, please?
Yes, Mayor. Mayor McClendon,
Present.
City Attorney Stevenson,
Here.
Councilor Cat,
Here.
Councilor Kroom,
Here.
Councilor Harris, Councilor Holt,
Here.
Councilor Hutchinson,
Here.
Councilor Mohammed,
Present.
Councilor Monday,
Here.
Councilor Murray,
Here.
Councilor Pulliam,
Here.
Councilor Wheelers.
Here.
9 out of 10. Well, with a quorum being present, I'm gonna call this meeting to order. We had no bid openings. Was there any corrections to the minutes?
Motion to approve is submitted.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? It passes. Old business, Mr. Attorney?
Second reading of an ordinance to amend ordinances 2102 and 23449, establishing water rates for the city of West Memphis and for other purposes.
It's read for a second time, and it'll be back on the agenda in 2 weeks once.
I got one question.
Go ahead.
When do you plan to set up the public hearing?
Sure.
Yes, whoa, that's a hot. I'll step back here. The public hearing for the water rates, if anybody have comments, will be at the Civic Center next Thursday, November the 10th. December the 10th, thank you. I'm trying to go back to November. December the 10th at 5 o'clock, from 5 to 6. We'll also put that, I'll get Nick to get that on our social media outlets to get that out there, okay? Again, I want to thank Jim Jackson, A&P, for allowing me to use that building for this function, so.
Mayor, if I may, we will go ahead. We had some budget meetings scheduled for that day. I will move them to the following week. It's important that all the council members need to be there.
Okay.
Following week, so that'll be
Yeah, we will not have budget hearings next Thursday evening.
because, okay, so we,
Okay.
okay, I
Y'all
got you.
council members can be there for this. and
Got
then
you.
I'll
Then-
move those to Tuesday or Wednesday of the following week
Got you. Thank
and get them rescheduled.
you. Okay. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
All right. We go down to new business, motion, read by title only.
So move.
Second. It's there.
R1, R01, and 02, and 03 by title only.
The second.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Sit.
R1 is a resolution certifying the amounts of liens imposed on certain properties for demolition contracted by the city of West Memphis pursuant to ordinance 1141.
All right. Can I get a motion and second to approve?
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? You get R1, a resolution, a number?
Yes, sir. That resolution number will be 2248.
2248. 01,
01 is an ordinance to amend the personnel manual of the City of West Memphis, Arkansas regarding the amendment of the entire City of West Memphis personnel manual and for other purposes.
I'll make a motion, we place it on the second reading.
Second. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed?
An ordinance to amend the personnel manual of the City of West Memphis, Arkansas regarding the amendment of the entire City of West Memphis personnel manual and for other purposes.
All right, ready for a second time?
Mayor, yes, we could go ahead and further suspend the rules, place it on its third and final reading so we can address it today.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
An ordinance to amend the personnel manual of the City of West Memphis, Arkansas regarding the amendment of the entire City of West Memphis personnel manual and for other purposes.
Third and final time. Can I get a motion and second to approve?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Mayor and I've had this conversation with now our new city clerk. I still believe there's only one person that makes those decisions, and it lies with the mayor. And
I think
made
this
that
is
clear.
the whole personnel manual. This is what we've been doing for, having the consultant here for the last, I don't know how many months, going back to July, I think. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Excuse me, I think we read that out of order because
Yes,
01 is the ordinance to amend the personnel manual for the selection of employees. The personnel manual is 03.
Okay.
Okay. Well, mine says it differently, I guess, yeah.
So do we need to go back?
Back up.
Or just change?
Well, I read the title to this entire personnel
We can
manual.
change that
do
to
this one.
01.
And then we'll just change this
The other one
one
to
over
03. Yes, sir.
Dennis, are you online?
I am.
you-
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Did you have anything that you want to add? Or the council having a question
Yes.
for Ms. Coleman?
Yes, absolutely. We have met with HR Partners, which is a very reputable consultant firm, to touch on the revisions of the personnel manual. We have been working on this for several months now, and we've even had working sessions with our department heads. We've had two to discuss some of the adjustments. Right now, it's my understanding that this is on the first reading, and because that is the case, we offered a working session for the council members to review and take a look at the personnel manual in its entirety next Tuesday at 3:00 p.m. If you all have any questions, but it'll at least give you time to review it, and if you have anything, any questions or concerns about it, you can address it at that time. I really feel we've done a good job of vetting everything out. We've also included the adjustment to the travel policy, and there's also some amendments in there as well too, that were approved and looked through by Kenneth Johnson, our purchasing agent, as well as all the other department heads too.
All right.
Hey, Ms. Coleman, and I truly apologize for the mix-up on that. I have
Oh,
read
that's
through
okay.
this manual, and of course, I've got 4 or 5 items that I've highlighted, and of course,
Okay.
we've read it 3 times today. I would assume we probably need to have a quick meeting to address this once and for all.
Well, yeah, it was accidental how it was read out, so.
No, but we've read it 3 times. Are you going to vote it
Correct.
down today? And then bring it back to the agenda?
Correction.
Because
Okay.
once you
They
approve
were,
it,
they were read out of order,
Make a
Councilman.
motion to be tabled till the next meeting. That's the way to get around it.
There's already a motion and second to approve on here.
I know, but the table until the next meeting.
Okay.
That's the motion.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that's
No,
motion.
the motion was to pass it. It was on the
I know,
table.
but the motion I'm making is to table it.
Okay, so we need to vote it down then.
The
No,
motion
I
to table.
think the motion to table takes precedence over the
Okay.
motion to pass it.
I second that motion table.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? It's tabled to the next meeting. O2, Mr. City Attorney.
All right. O2 is an ordinance granting a special use permit for 700 East Broadway, permitting a fuel station / convenience store in a C1 general commercial district.
Mayor asks that we suspend the rules and place that on its second reading.
So moved.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? It's on the second reading.
An ordinance granting a special use permit for 700 East Broadway, permitting a fuel station / convenience store in a C1 general commercial district.
Mayor asks that we further suspend the rules and place it on its final reading.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? It's on its third reading.
An ordinance granting a special use permit for 700 East Broadway, permitting a fuel station / convenience store in a C1 general commercial district.
All right, let's get a motion second to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? It passes. Will you get that ordinance a number?
Yes, sir. That ordinance number will be 2563. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. All right. 03 is an ordinance to amend the personnel manual of the City of West Memphis, Arkansas regarding selection of employees and for other purposes.
Yeah, make a motion, we put it on the second reading.
So moved.
All in favor, aye? Opposed?
An ordinance to amend the personnel manual of the City of West Memphis, Arkansas regarding selection of employees and for other purposes.
Yeah,
I'll
make
make
a
the
motion,
motion
we
for
put it
further
on the
suspend the
third
rules,
reading,
place on the
final
second
reading.
reading.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, third reading.
An ordinance to amend the personnel manual of the City of West Memphis, Arkansas regarding selection of employees and for other purposes.
All right, it's been read for its third time. Let's get a motion second to approve.
So moved.
Discussion. Yes.
Again, as I stated when I was confused, and I apologize for that, I still believe the responsibility of hiring fire lies with one person only, and as is with the mayor of the city.
Second, I also gonna stand with the municipal league. The municipal league have came here and been clear and consistent about that. So right now, the council, you may have the right if you all want to change that, but I'm gonna stand the whole steadfast with what the municipal league told me. Second, I think also, Councilman, although you going into being a new clerk, I think it's grossly unethical for you to be voting on this issue right here. So I appreciate if you would abstain from that as well. So that's
Well,
why.
the only thing that I say here with this is asking you all to do the right thing. All of you here to do the right thing. And I know y'all talk about what the municipal league say, but as soon as she come back with them copies, I'm gonna let y'all read what the municipal league said. Okay, so I do have an opinion on it, so I'm just gonna let it be read. And again, like I say, I have not stepped down. Like I said, once I resign, I'm fine. And I can vote regardless. I think I can vote with my conscience, without, I have a right to vote, and I will vote, okay?
And that I think is,
And again, when she come back,
He
I'm gonna
done-
let y'all read the opinion from the municipal league. Not from the municipal league, but from one of the attorneys from the municipal league.
All right, so can I speak now? I have an opinion.
I would like to hear what Mr. League has to
So
say about it.
I
from the
remember
attorney.
well, yeah, I know about it. I've already got a copy of it. I remember well the meeting back in December of last year when Lanny Richmond came here to try to resolve the dispute that we were having back at that time. And what he said back at that time, I don't need to read that, I've seen it before, is that the council could choose to give the power or the authority to the city clerk's office if they wanted to hire and fire. They could do that. He said, as our past practice has been, that's not the way we have done things. And so he goes back to our past practice. He said we could tighten it up or make it more clear in our personnel policy if we wanted to, which I think we did in ordinance 2530, if I'm not mistaken, that said mayor had final authority. From a personal standpoint, I don't know why you would take the city clerk's office out and make it an exception when the city attorney's office is a full-time position. And it seems to me, city attorney's office would have more need to have that ability.
But
I'm
we're not talking about
City
this.
attorney's office
We're not talking about the
city
city
attorney's
attorney's
office not
office.
asking for that.
But you don't have
Because
to.
I believe that if you're a politician, you ought to be able to get along with the mayor. And I do think there is a conflict for Mr. Pulliam to vote on this. It directly affects his authority in office, and I don't think he should have put it on the agenda, sponsoring it, or be voting on it. I think it's clearly a conflict of interest, so that's my opinion.
Okay, so now, if you don't mind, could you read what, matter of fact, Alderman Kidd, if you don't mind, could you read what it says on there? If you don't mind. Could you read for the record?
Entitled Senator Ingram, after research,
But
there
can
is an
you
attorney
speak in the
general
mic so they can hear you? I don't think they could hear you.
Yeah, mic's on. Their opinion that in the absence of any policy, the elected official, clerk/treasurer, will particularly supervise the day-to-day activity of an employee in their office. Here's the relevant portion of the opinion. Arguments could be propounded in support of the competing views that the mayor, the city council, or the clerk-treasurer is the immediate supervisor of an assistant to the clerk-treasurer. I am inclined to adopt the view that in the absence of an ordinance addressing this issue, the supervisory authority over an assistant to the clerk-treasurer falls primarily upon the clerk-treasurer, subject to the ultimate control of the city council or city board of directors.
Now, this is a concern. I'm going to ask this, not being argumentative, but I've been here as a council 17 years. Councilman Pulliam has been here, I think, 28 years. And in 28 years, this has never came up between Mayor Ingram, Mayor Bowles, or Mayor Johnson. Now, all of a sudden, now it's a McClendon administration, it's coming up. And I'm not for it. I think it's a slap in the face to this administration.
Mayor,
I'm not going to stand it.
we never had the problem that we had in the past with this position. And what we're trying to do is find a resolution to it. You talking about what happened in the past with the last administration. I don't know why you keep resorting back to the past. We talking about today and moving forward.
Councilman
You never had the problem that we've had.
Let me
That's
say
the
this.
main thing.
I'm going to stop this rumor that it's a problem. There ain't been no problem.
Well,
with
okay,
the
that's
clerk.
what you say.
It haven't been a problem.
That's what you say.
And you
It have. It's obvious where it got to where it is today.
It's no problem.
It is a problem.
Okay. You think that? but
It is a problem.
I say this, if you got 7 council people that's going to give you that, going to vote yes for you, then you will have that power. But as far as me, you all know I stand with it, and I'm going to hold to what I got at this point. So, is there no more discussion? Can we call for a vote?
I'll make a motion to call for a vote.
What Patricia?
You coming back?
You're going to call for a vote and get this over with. Because at the end of the day, if you all vote it down, I still be the one handling the day-to-day operations of the city. That's law. You ready to call the roll?
Hello?
Counselor Pat?
No.
Counselor Croom? Counselor Croom?
pass for now.
Excuse me?
I'm gonna pass for now. Come back to it.
Yes, sir, thank you. Counselor Harris? Counselor Holt?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hutchinson?
No.
Counselor Muhammad?
Pass.
Counselor Monday?
No.
Counselor Murray?
No.
Counselor Pulliam?
Yes.
Counselor Wheelis?
Yes.
We have 3 yeses. 1, 2, 3, 4 noes. And 2 abstentions. Mr. Kroom, would you like to change your vote?
I will change it to yes.
Okay, so we have 4 yeses, 4 noes. Ms. Muhammad?
Remain the same. Pass.
Tie.
So we'll resume back to how it's normally been. Also, I think I need to ask for permission to add a budget conversation.
Yes, sir. At the last meeting, we had discussed, admin was going to make a presentation. And one of the things they looked at was a $500 bonus, one was a $750. Since then, we've heard council members are wanting to consider other options. So I spoke with Tori earlier. We're going to work the numbers up on all those options and put them out and see which one the councils wish to consider. I asked her if she could get with me on Monday, get all that put together so we can get it to the council before the end of the day. And we're going to start budget meetings Tuesday night. The majority of the council will be here so we can get that addressed once and for all which way it's going to go. So if any council member has a specific dollar amount, please let me know so we can work up the scenarios.
I got a motion and second to approve the planning commission recommendation.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? On the committee reports, I guess just an update on the budget meetings that's going to start.
Mayor, I'm sorry, real quick. Is this where I need to ask for permission to add to the agenda for,
You, I got it down under announcement.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Convene.
Yes, sir. Admin presented the budget the other night. Of course, general fund was showing a $2.6 million deficit. We moved $1.3 million of capital outlay to the capital improvement plan, still leaving a deficit of $1.6 million in the general fund. That's probably the most pressing that we have in front of us. We still have the library issue to deal with on the balance left owing. City engineers should start wrapping up those final numbers soon as they get closer to completion. We had some reimbursement from the state that Ms. Perry will be holding on to. She announced at the meeting the other night that she would probably use those funds for next year, which was roughly $650,000. So still getting together, putting together the plan. We'll start making some final decisions when we meet with the council starting next Tuesday night.
Thank you. I hear no appointments, no presentations, there's nothing.
Yes, I am asking permission to pay Charity Days to New Beginning Outreach Ministry, $800. And I also would like to pay Economical Village $200. So that would be in the amount of $1,000 in my Charity Days.
All right. That's 800 to New Beginning and 200 to Economical Village.
Yes, sir. New Beginning Outreach Ministry.
New Beginning Outreach.
Yes, sir. I got it wrong the last time, so this is the correct one.
I get a motion and second. Are there anyone else? The motion and second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? It passes. Kyle, will you come forward, please?
Yes, I would just like to wish, and let Mr. John Ross know our families, the family of Mr. John Ross, our prayers are with him, and thank you, his family and him, for all the years of service that he gave to this city. I tell you, couldn't find a better man, and his attitude and how he conducted himself. He served the city for 24 years on the utility commission and done an excellent job, and I considered him a good friend, and, you know, appreciate all his years of service, and again, my prayers are out to his family and everything he did for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ross is a great man. He definitely keep his family around. Also, we have to keep his baby Brown family, keep them in our prayers as well as, two parents as well. So, we keep praying for those families. We had no citizen requests. Was there anything else?
I got a couple of things I'd like to say first about. Number one, you all sitting here, of course, I already know you had it planned today, the way you went with this vote, but at the same time, let me explain something to you. I think you're doing this whole office a disservice, and it's fine. You can vote the way you want to vote, but at the same time, you know, when you are charged with a duty to uphold, which is called non-feasance of office, which when you got someone else trying to, to run an office that you are responsible for, I find that very, very hard to do. Now, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna do the job like I'm supposed to, and you know, still at the same time, I'm gonna be James Pulliam, regardless. And you all did what you thought you needed to do today, and from this day forward, and like I say, you know, I'm still gonna be the same person. But another thing that I'm gonna do with this last act, I'm just gonna go ahead on and resign my post today so you all can do what you need to do. And the reason being is because the city attorney just brought it to my attention today about taking office after the election was certified. So that's why today I'm going to resign today officially, and I'll be sworn in at least by tomorrow. Thank you.
All right. Anything else? Got a motion second to adjourn?
We'll move.
All in favor, aye? Aye.
Melvin.